All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about what our goals are for the next couple days and some things that I'd like to change and to add and that kind of thing. The judge had a lot of really good things to say. So vocabulary-wise, we're right on track, and we're doing really well with adding lower body and upper body with their equipment, and they're achieving those things for the most part pretty well. Hi, I have a little baby right here, and some things that I would like to fix. So when we start cleaning and when we start watching them go around, anytime that they are, like, for example, at a shoulder hip angle, you know, maybe like where the flag's on the ground and they're holding it at a shoulder hip angle, not letting it droop down, but like keeping that really sharp and tight. Anytime that they're supposed to be flat, let's make sure that it's flat. Those little things they're getting just a little bit lazy about. Are their hands on the end cap, or that kind of thing, I think would make the world of difference in our show and just in clarity as a whole. So that's probably our first thing, is when they go through flat, make sure it's flat. Is it at their hip? Make sure it's at their hip. I know that, like, at the end of the third movement, that 12 counts at the very end, they go through flat like 3 or 4 times, and they're at all different levels. Some are here at their chest, some are at their stomach, some are and it's supposed to be at their hips. Some don't make it at all, and it's an angle. Stuff like that will clean it up. They need to breathe when we do work, you know, and kind of calm down. Our biggest problem, especially in some of these features, is rushing. They had a really successful first movement, except for there are 2 places that need to be changed. And the one place is right before they get into that block that goes da 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 da, and they move over. It's that work right before that. It's like 16 counts, and I split it up into A-B work. And it's a place where I had Makell write 16 counts, and then Heather wrote part of that 16 counts. It's beyond them. It is a mess. You can't read it. We have no idea what's going on. So what I think needs to happen is that we need to put everybody on Makell's simple work. So somebody needs to teach that tonight, that everybody just does the same work there. Hopefully, if you don't know what I'm talking about, give me a call. Second part of the first movement that is a mess is well, it's not a mess. Okay, so let's go through that block. So then they hit that block, that ba-ba-ba, where they're all within the band. Those pole tosses aren't working for us. I don't know if they need to be tightened up. I don't know if they need to change entirely to like an angle pole toss where they're just doing the same angle every time. But I think that something there needs to change, because it's looking absolutely weak, and it needs to be more aggressive. Musically, it's more aggressive, and in the drill, it could be achieved a little bit better. So let's think about that. Feel free to change, but I am suggesting doing pole tosses on just the angle, on like the right hand angle, and keeping it really simple. And I would like for, if they did the pole tosses instead of turning around, because they're just not achieving it well, that they pole toss, and then they kind of like run 2, 3, 4, pole toss, and then I kind of want like a high step marching back, 2, 3, 4, something cute, like with their knees like up, 1, 2, 3, 4, or like some kind of a jumpy kind of a move. So we'll see what you guys come up with. Okay, second movement, in the very beginning, when they break and we move our rifle or our club people forward, they kind of take about 8 steps or so with their flag up at right shoulder. If we could just bring it down earlier, that would be great. So whatever work they do, that those front 6 or 7 people bring their flag down from right shoulder and down, so that we can have focus. She's mentioned that it's a little bit cluttered up front, and I agree with her. So we kind of need to bring that silk down. We're covering the band and the back flags. Okay, back flags. The transition, and this is what I was thinking actually when I watched it, the transition coming in is slow and long. Let's see, the clubs leave and they pick up a flag, and for 16 counts, nothing is happening. So we have 2 sets of guard people behind each canopy. we need to bring out the set that has the farthest to go, and we need to give them 8 counts of simple work that they do on their own. I want them to leave the canopy, set up in like a little tripod or something, do this 8 counts of pretty work, and then in a nice graceful way, shoulder hip angle or something, that they can gracefully jazz run over to their spot. Then the second set, you're okay, what happened? Then the second group needs to come out from their canopy, make a little form, do 8 counts of different work. It can be completely different. And then they can put it into a shoulder hip angle. No, Aaliyah, hey, no. They can put it into a shoulder hip angle and gracefully go to their spot. I think that will help in the transition. And then the people who are running to their spot, like the club people, we need to really look at and see who has plenty of time to get there, that they can do something and kind of turn it into more of a individual little feature before the feature actually happens. So that, because basically what we're watching is we're watching them all come out and they all set up, and then we just kind of wait for it to happen. So we need that transition to be something different. Sorry, she's gonna squawk. Say hello. Say hello. Hopefully that makes sense. And then my last change is, come here a second. Oh, okay. She and I got in the shower earlier, and so we're both messy. Oh, no. The last thing I want to change is third movement. Very, very end. They had this A-B work after the ripple. They rippled 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they rippled with their hand 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then they had some A-B work. Put them all on one thing. No more A-B work, and I don't care which one you choose. Well, I do care. I want the pop toss one. So they come down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then they all come up on 9. I would like that. Everybody, we're losing the A-B work, and I think it might just clean it up a little if we change them and we put them all on the same. So hopefully that makes sense. And I can't really think of anything else. Rifles in the front, they do this thing under their leg where they toss where they toss like a double under their legs on the 45. I don't really love the fact that they have to like really keep moving, so that they don't really finish that well. That they could maybe stay there and finish that phrase and then just move up slowly and over, I think would be just fine. And if they can't get that work that they do with their flag, that 16 counts of work with their flag, any better, I'm gonna take it out. I think that it could belong and that it could do well. It's a mess. They don't know their angles. They don't know the front from the back from the side. It's incredibly rushed, and it looks a mess when I really think that it could just either be cleaned up or taken out. I don't mind them tossing the double if they can all toss on time. Lexi's having a really hard time getting there. But I don't know if it necessarily needs to be there just because it's just such a mess. So maybe address that too. The biggest thing is first movement, to put everybody on the same work that Makell wrote. The next big thing is to write some kind of a transition for those flags that are coming back into little groups. And then the third most important thing is to put everybody on the same work after the ripple and the third movement. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know this was long. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.